Arionne Curry still don't get it. From courthouse chaos to shocking text messages to Arionne popping up at the wrong place at the wrong time, this is one update you do not want to miss. Let's get into it. Now let's rewind for a second. The drama between Martell and Melody has been going on for years. Their divorce wasn't just a regular divorce. It was a full-blown battle that played out in front of cameras, in the courtroom, and even on social media. Martell's affair with Arionne Curry wasn't just a side story, it was the story that broke his marriage and ruined the trust of not only his wife, but also the fans who had been rooting for him. Instead of bowing out gracefully, Martell seemed to double down, acting like he was the victim, when really, his actions were the cause of all this mess. Fast forward to January 2024, Martell gets arrested for DV harassing communications. This charge didn't come out of nowhere. It stemmed from a text he sent Melody back in 2022, a text that she said crossed the line completely. At first, Melody tried to brush it off. She didn't want to give him the satisfaction of knowing that he had gotten under her skin. But then, word started circulating that Arionne was allegedly plotting to release a revenge tape, and that was Melody's breaking point. She decided she had no choice but to file charges to protect herself and her peace. And let me just say, this wasn't an easy decision. Melody has always tried to keep things as smooth as possible, especially for her kids. But enough is enough. She made it clear that she wasn't going to let Martell or Arionne play with her name, her safety, or her legacy. So Martell pled guilty. But then he appealed, trying to backtrack like he always does. Eventually, the charge was reduced to simple harassment after Melody agreed to a plea deal. And here's the kicker. She only agreed because she wanted to move forward and not let this drama hold her hostage. But don't get it twisted. She also made it very clear that if anything else like this happens, she will push for the maximum penalty. But here's where things got downright messy. Martell actually had the audacity to beg Melody to drop the charges. He tried to guilt trip her by bringing up their kids, saying she should think about them and how this could affect the family. Now, let's pause right there. Isn't it interesting how Martell suddenly remembers the kids when he's the one causing all this chaos? Where was that same energy when he was disrespecting their mother in public, dragging her through court, or trying to intimidate her with his mistress? Exactly. And speaking of that mistress, Martell decided to bring Arionne Curry with him to court. Yes, you heard that right. The same woman who played a huge role in destroying his marriage, the same woman who has been taunting Melody for years, sitting up in court like she had business being there. Melody said that was nothing but intimidation tactics, and honestly, she's right. Because what other reason would there be to bring her? If Martell truly cared about resolving this issue, the last person who should have been anywhere near that courthouse was Arionne. But of course, Martell just had to make it messy. And then came the elevator moment. After court, Melody, her security, Martell, and Arionne all ended up in the same elevator. Now, can you imagine the tension in that small space? According to Melody, Martell was acting childish, making little slick comments to get under her skin. And Arionne, not to be outdone, decided to throw shade on the way out, saying Melody was talking to somebody's husband. Now let's just pause again. How can you claim someone as your husband when he's divorced and sitting next to you in court because of harassment charges involving his actual ex-wife? The math isn't mathing. Melody admitted that she almost snapped in that moment, and who could blame her? But she caught herself. She reminded herself that she has too much to lose. Her brand, her children, her future. And that's what separates her from Martell and Arionne. She knows when to hold back, even when she has every reason to go off. And that's why she keeps winning. Now here's the bigger picture. Melody says Martell and Arionne still don't get it. They're so focused on trying to make her look like the problem that they don't see their own toxic behavior. They're stuck in this cycle of blaming her, attacking her, and trying to provoke her instead of taking accountability for their own actions. And while they're stuck in that cycle, Melody is moving forward, building businesses, raising her kids, and protecting her peace. Another thing that fans are pointing out is how Martell seems to always want to play the victim card when the consequences of his actions come back to haunt him. When he was sitting in court facing those charges, he wasn't thinking about how his behavior put him there. He was only thinking about how to get Melody to back down. And honestly, this is a pattern. Every time Martell finds himself in a mess, he tries to deflect, shift blame, or use the kids as leverage. But people are waking up to the fact that accountability is not something he's willing to face. And then there's Arrion. A lot of people are questioning why she continues to insert herself into Melody's life. If she's truly moved on and happy, why does she keep showing up in spaces that involve Melody? Courtrooms, social media, and even in conversations that don't concern her. It almost feels like she thrives on the chaos, like her identity is tied to keeping this drama alive. But here's the thing. While she's stuck being the side story, Melody is the main character, and that's what really bothers her. What's even more interesting is how Melody continues to handle all of this with class. She could have blasted Martell and Arrion every single day on social media if she wanted to. She could have told every ugly detail, but she doesn't. Instead, she moves smart. She documents everything, keeps her paper trail, and when it's time to handle business, she handles it in court, not on Instagram Live. That's why people continue to respect her. She's showing other women that you don't have to respond. To every attack, sometimes silence and strategy are the loudest responses. At the end of the day, this whole situation shows a clear difference between the two sides. On one side, you have Martell and Arrion, messy, unbothered by how their actions look, and stuck in a toxic cycle of immaturity. On the other side, you have Melody, focused on growth, protecting her peace, and making sure her kids have stability no matter what. And that's why fans say Martell and Arrion still don't get it. Because until they stop playing games and start looking at themselves in the mirror, they'll keep losing while Melody keeps winning. So here's my question to y'all. Did Martell cross the line by bringing Arrion to court? Was that just straight up disrespect and intimidation? Or do you think he really doesn't see how problematic that was? And should Melody have let the DV charge stick instead of giving him that plea deal? Because honestly, sometimes grace just gives people another chance to act a fool. Drop your thoughts in the comments below because I know y'all have a lot to say about this one. And if you're Team Melody and you're tired of Martell and Arrion playing these games, go ahead and hit that like button to show your support. This story is far from over, and you know I'll be here to keep you updated every step of the way.